This is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome into ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. And just want to say thank you for making ATL Day Ones your first listen of the day. And remember, we're free and available wherever you download your podcast and wherever you download that bad boy. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review. That's how everybody, Pookie, Grandma, everybody gonna find out about what we got going on right here. Yeah. I want Grandma listening too, and Pookie. I don't care where he is. He has a mobile device. You know they let phones in jail now.
That Pookie.
Yeah. Okay. That Pookie. Yeah, Pookie from around the way. So we definitely got a lot of stuff around this way going on ATL Day Ones. I'm going to start off talking about Michael Harris not being a finalist for a Gold Glove. What the blank? And definitely we're going to talk about the Falcons. We're going to give you a big preview of what's going on with the Falcons versus the Bengals. Got a nice little nugget for you. You're going to have to stick around if you want to find out what it is. And last but not least, the Woman King we'll discuss. But before we do that, we have to talk about what we are right now. We're available on Roku and Amazon. So, yeah, if you want to check us out on the big screen, make sure you do that. We really appreciate you for that in advance. But when you think about what Michael Harris did, at the end coming up in the end of May, and then we talk about the Braves record from June 1st and on to the end of having the best record from June 1st to the end of the season. And I don't think it's any coincidence that Michael Harris was a guy that was a big part of that, right? A big contributor to that, along with Spencer Strider. Mm-hmm. Not only offensively with his bat, but what he was able to do was just solidify himself as the center fielder because, start off with Adam Duvall. He ended up getting hurt. Yeah. And Adam Duvall, he was okay in that spot. But once Michael Harris got in that spot, in that center field spot, it just seems like it just made the world of difference, and you can see how an elite of a defender he is.
Yeah, that one, and of course we know that Max Fried in his respective space as a pitcher, Dansby Swanson in his respective space as a shortstop, they were able to get the nod as finalists at their particular positions, which is great. Congratulations, but it does actually make you shake your head because when you look at the criteria, and I'm literally pulling it up now, it literally says all infielders and outfielders with at least 698 total innings played qualify at the specific position where he played the most innings, i.e. where his manager utilized them the most. Right. I'm going to go on a limb and say June 1st and September 30th, Michael Harris II played 698 innings. So you're really going to have to make this one make sense because I'm looking at it and I really don't see anything because it also says through his team's 138th game. Jarvis, did he not get through 162 games? Hello. Yeah. So 7.5 equates to playing in the field for approximately 7.5 innings per game. Yep. I'm still not seeing it. It's a head scratcher for me. I'm just confused. But I will say this. As much of a head scratcher as it is for me, and as much as it kind of makes me go, as long as his name is next to NLROI, we're good here.
Yeah, like there's nobody else to pick, right? Unless you want to make an argument for his teammate, Spencer Strider. You know what I mean? So hopefully we won't be having this conversation about him being left off the list and all that stuff. So
because ATL Day Ones won't be so nice if that's
no doubt. Yeah. We lighten somebody up. We lighten everybody up. Matter of fact, because and I'll just say this, and we can go on to the Hawks Magic. Now, here's the 3 finalists: Trent Grisham, Victor Robles, and Alec Thomas.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. So there we go. Yeah. That's what we're talking about right there. That's all that needs to be not said on that particular situation. Now, moving on to the Atlanta Hawks. Now we went into depth about what they were able to bring to the table when it comes to, DeJounte Murray and Trae Young out there doing their thing and distributing the basketball, 20 plus points and 10 plus assists. for both of those guys, like that is extreme production. But T, as they get prepared to play against the Orlando Magic tonight, my first question to you, all I have to ask is, are we gonna see DeJounte Murray punk Paolo Banchero again?
Well, he's gonna, no
petty.
question. You and I have heavily,
you circle this one, you circle this one.
Don't think I won't be at State Farm with all eyes on that this evening. Now, granted, listen, guys, we know that he plays at the power forward point position, right? So we know for the most part he'll be somewhere between being guarded by John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, and of course some subbing in with Onyeka Okongwu, right? But real talk, we all know DJ is going to somehow, some way be on that guy at some point. And those 27 points that you saw him score against the Pistons, something that, interestingly enough, Shaquille O'Neal hadn't done, Penny Hardaway hadn't done, as well as Dwight Howard in terms of Magic players in their rookie debuts, right? So we'll give him a shout out. Not happening this evening, not at all. And the other piece there is this. I think that DeJounte Murray, we saw it, the energy and the defensive intensity. You always kind of think of it as the big starting it, but really I felt like DJ got that going Wednesday night, and I expect to see the same again tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And when you think about what the guys like that get mentioned in certain conversations, and you talking about backcourts and best backcourts in the NBA and all those type of stuff, I think that's something that DeJounte Murray kind of backs out, because, in talking to him after the game opening night, he was just kind of like, hey, man, like, I understand what y'all trying to get at, but I'm a team guy. I ain't with all that. You know what I mean? We got the dub. I did what I was supposed to do. I still feel like I can improve. And that's what you look for when you're talking about the certain qualities in a player and getting the understanding of who he is. And he's a leader. Like, that has already been established in my eyes. So when you get the guys like that on the court and they starting to feel each other out more and more, this is going to be something that's going to be very special. And no doubt in my mind that the Orlando Magic probably going to take that L tonight.
And I wanted to also go back to something that you said yesterday as we pre-briefed on Wednesday night's game, and that is the Hawks are also going to, obviously, we expect them to bounce back from three. Not necessarily that it's going to be their numbers from deep last season, especially right away as they continue to gel and kind of figure out how they want to play on the perimeter, especially in the absence of a Bogdan Bogdanovic. But one thing that you mentioned was what Nate McMillan said about being perfectly okay with 2-pointers. And the reason I think that's important is because you also saw Trae Young play through contact. You saw DeJounte Murray with an and one. You saw just about every starter get an and one at some point. And that was a weakness that the Pistons were able to exploit with the Magic in terms of being able to get to that free throw line. So I expect much more of the same from the Hawks. And I like it, Jarvis, because then we get to continue to see that physical side, the physicality that they're bringing to the table, and a toughness that we've actually been hoping to see on a consistent basis throughout the past.
Begging for it, literally, right? Yeah.
I think tonight would certainly be a great night to see that too.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that we will be able to see that. Something that I'm not happy that I saw last night, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets team, like 16-9, they lose to the Virginia Cavaliers, who they were favored to beat, by the way. And my biggest takeaway from this one, and it just kind of, we've had this conversation about Brent Key and the possibility of him of putting on a good display to potentially get this job, right? And I think that he made a step towards not getting his job last night, because that offense looked like they had no clue. And here's when I realized that. And it was in the I think it was in the third quarter, and Georgia Tech had just blocked the punt, and I was just like, they got the ball on the 35 going in.
Momentum,
like momentum. Man, here you go. The perfect opportunity.
Right.
And next thing you know, it's 4th and 16 and they're punting. I'm just like, how do you go backwards on a situation right there? That is like the epitome of game-changing plays. Like, you're getting something from your special teams, who were probably the worst unit on the field until Jeff Collins was fired. So it was just so frustrating to watch that. I'm sitting there watching this. It was like, okay, here's your opportunity to go and do what you need to do. Get the dub. And they literally go backwards. And I'm just like, this is absolutely awful.
Jarvis, can I say something that I don't know if I've ever heard you say? I don't know if I've ever said it or anybody around here. I wasn't expecting Tech to gun a Tech, but Tech gun a Tech just last night. Tech was Tech teched.
Yeah,
So,
they teched.
they
Like,
teched. And it was
man, they teched.
Yeah. Because you and I were actually low-key rooting for it. We were like, yeah, man, we hope we get to talk about Georgia Tech. We hope we get to talk about Brent Key having made a case for himself. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it was all on him. I think that real talk, Jeff Sims was injured, right?
Yeah, that was a factor.
Yeah, honestly, didn't even expect to see him play. So you got to take that into consideration. However, to your point, you are at home. You are favored.
The crib.
You're riding the momentum of 2 games in a row. You hadn't won 3 games straight since 2018. That should have been a whole lot of motivation for you. And you literally sat there and played some crazy looking brand of one-dimensional ball for just about every end of the field. Just really, really perplexing. I tell you what, Jarvis, I wonder to myself, if somebody's looking at it, did they look away and say, "Whoo, I hope they don't call me tomorrow and ask me about coming to take this shot"? Because you got enough.
Are you talking about in the state of Mississippi?
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm already recruiting just fine in J-Town. I think I'll just sit put.
Yeah. The AD for Georgia Tech has a big job ahead of them. Yeah. And I'm glad. Congratulations on that, on getting the job. But your job is to find the next head coach that's going to put a better product out there, because that was absolutely awful last night. Now, I hope you didn't bet on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to win get that dub last night, because if you did, betonline.net probably would have told you to do something different, because that is something that it is a place that you can go to get all your best sports wagering information. It is the fastest, easy way to check in all your betting needs. You can find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games, T. And like you said, they even have podcasts, because, everybody check out our podcast because they want to figure out what's the best thing going on in Atlanta sports today. Let's go check out Locked On Sports Atlanta, ATL Day Ones right there. It's right there for you. So guess what? If you're trying to figure out how you can make some money, some scratch, go to betonline.net. It continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information, live in-game betting scores, and podcasts. Like I mentioned, they got the podcast for you. You get all that info. So you want to bet on Georgia Tech to beat the Virginia Cavaliers, who will look even worse than them. Like, that was such a bad offensive game last night. Oh, my gosh. All right. Now, head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today, because guess what, y'all? BetOnline is where the game starts.
Yes. And what we have told you can get a good look on is from betonline.net. That is what the Falcons do. The Falcons have been saving a lot of people because they have been covering the spread each and every week this season. And I don't doubt that they'll cover undefeated the spread on Sunday. Exactly. That's one place they're undefeated.
Yes.
But I don't doubt that they're going to cover the spread again, but I believe, Jarvis, that they could potentially cover the spread with a win. Now, it's interesting because I'm looking back, and you know how we sometimes like to take a step back and kind of look at the bigger picture, taking nothing away from the Falcons versus Bengals preview that we're going to get into as well. But ultimately, we're now, a third of the way through the season, right?
Yeah,
and so even yesterday, we were chuckling, but in a very positive way, about the fact that we're having a conversation about the team that's tied for first place in the NFC South. And on top of that, a team that is #1 in their rushing offense in the league. That is exciting, I think, for Falcons fans. They should be excited at this point, 1/3 of the way into the season. But let me ask you this, and I don't know if you remember both sides. So listen, guys, if we don't remember, give us a pass, please. We're 6 games in, for crying out loud. But
no doubt, yeah.
I wanted to ask you this because I was thinking about it last night. Like, who would be my Falcons MVP so far on both offense and defense? And then I was thinking, now does it match up with what I selected earlier in the season? And I think so.
Yeah. You know what? To be honest with you, just kind of thinking off the top of my head, like the first person that came to my mind defensively has got to be Grady Jarrett, right? Like, that dude has been an absolute man-child to this year. And when you think about,
until he stops saying Grady,
you're like, right. So, and just from a sack standpoint, and actually getting the quarterback on the ground, not only being disruptive in the run game, and just absolutely terrorizing offensive linemen. Like going through the film, that dude, he is having a hell of a year this year. And I think that if he's not in all-pro conversation, at least Pro Bowl conversation this year, something is absolutely wrong. I'm talking about Michael Harris not winning Gold Glove type wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you want to see Jarvis and I act out.
Yeah, your folk gonna nut up. We gonna nut up around this thing if we don't see Grady Jarrett in those conversations as season goes along, especially if he continues to play like he's been playing. But offensively, I'm gonna go a little off. I'm gonna go a little off off kilter a little bit. Not necessarily a player. I'm going with Arthur Smith. Because when you talking about the way he calls plays, the way he kind of understands his personnel and not try to force feed things that he wants to do, like now, granted, he wants to run the football. Don't get me wrong. But when you got a guy like Marcus Mariota who's going to be able to use his legs to his advantage, and that's going to give another element that the defense has to think about when you doing that RPO, because it's one thing to do RPO when there's no threat to run. Like Georgia Tech did last night. They up here doing this RPO stuff, and I know Zach Gibson ain't about to do nothing. That's why I say they don't have a clue. Arthur Smith, the antithesis of that. He knows what he's doing, and he knows that defenses have to respect Marcus Mariota and what he's trying to do. And I think that if, and you know what, to be honest with you, if Marcus Mariota continues to play clean, we might be having this conversation as we get 66% of the way through the season, because if he doesn't turn the ball over, I think that the Falcons are going to be in every game, because that means they're going to be able to run the football and controlling the clock and control the time of possession and making sure their defense is well rested so they can go out there and get stopped. So I think I have to go with Grady Jarrett, and I have to go a little off kilter a little bit and go get my guy Arthur Smith, just from a play caller standpoint. He has been excellent.
Right. And I would have to agree with you on Grady, that he was my pick, because I really did feel like, hey, second year in Dean Pease offense, and not that we needed anyone to tip us off, but the fact that they got that deal done in the offseason said to us that, hey, they're confident that Grady is still that dude. And I just felt like he was going to shine. And don't get me wrong, there's been some assistance in his ability to shine in the likes of Taquan Graham. I mean, the fact that TQ has elevated his game has allowed Grady Jarrett to look like old Grady, right? So that's a good thing. And look, I don't look all into the numbers. I know right now, just throwing out his 2022 stats so far, the 13 solo tackles, the 3.5 sacks, and so that's good. But it's not just
should
that.
be 4.5. By the way.
Right. There you go. There you go. Yeah, like give him love, because then he wouldn't be tied for 25th. He'd be in the top 20. But anyway, so what he's been able to do to impact the game, to affect the game, and to make sure that other team understands, oh, we're coming for you. We're coming to win the battle in the trenches every single down. That's what I like, the way that he affects the game and makes, to your point, the other play callers think twice about how they're going to scheme against the defense. That's what you get out of Grady Jarrett looking like the MVP of the defense so far. And I went back and if I remember correctly, Jarvis, I think that I called it like a 1A and a 1B, where I was saying that it's probably going to be Cordero Patterson, but it would be the 1B if it would be the O-line, because he wouldn't be able to be the MVP of the Falcons without them. And you and I, we always say, if we owe you flowers, we owe you flowers. If we owe you kicking rocks, we're going to make you kick rocks. So we give our flowers particularly to Chris Lindstrom and to Caleb McGarry for doing the darn thing and getting this run game to where it needs to be. But I got to agree with you. When you start talking about those early candidates for Coach of the Year, you have to have Arthur Smith squarely in that conversation, And then, going back to what we were talking about, and I thought this was interesting as well, because I know all of us kind of breathed a sigh of relief as the week went on for practices, right? Seeing Michael Walker come back to full participation, AJ Terrell, Isaiah Oliver, Ade Ogundeji, Taquan Graham. That's a long list of guys that came back for full participation on Thursday, Jarvis. And I really thought to myself, first of all, I think the Falcons definitely are in a good place to have all 5 of those guys back in full participation on defense. But I felt like, and again, this is no offense to anybody, but I almost feel like AJ Terrell might be the most important of those 5, only because we've lost Casey Hayward. So you kind of want at least that strength. And you saw Troy Anderson kind of come in last week and do a solid job. Not to say he was Michael Walker, but he did a solid job, if you will. And with Ade, you still got AK back there, right? So you're good to go. And if Taquan can't go, okay. But to me, I felt like it might be AJ just because you don't have Casey, who might be the most important guy should he get cleared to play from that list of the injury report from yesterday.
It has to be, because when you talk about guys like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler
Yes.
Boyd,
Yes.
Joe Mixon,
Yeah,
Samaje
you
Perine,
called it.
like
Arguably
like look at all those guys.
70% of the
All those
five
guys can catch the football.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? Those are the they have a weaponry, and let's talk about the guy that throws them the football, and Joe Burrow. Like, we know he can light it up, and he's going to be looking to make big plays because he will hold on to that rock until he does. And I think that that's could be an advantage for them, and it could be an advantage for the Atlanta Falcons if they're able to get that pressure. And if they need bodies, and Adi Ogundeji coming back, he can help out with that. I can make a case for him not coming back and Arnie Ebiketie being the guy to be in there. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Who's going to start? So I think that's going to be something to keep an eye on. But like you mentioned, AJ Terrell for sure is the guy that you hope for to please come back, and because we know that we want him on Jamar Chase, and we'll figure the rest out later.
Yes, and you know what, Jarvis? And AJ Terrell is a really, really humble guy. You and I have had chances to talk to him across the last couple of years. But one thing I
typical Atlanta dude, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's
those
pretty
guys
chill,
always humble. Yeah,
very humble for an ATLian. But he was that guy who. I'm just saying, he is that guy who legit could have like a slight chip on his shoulder, because everybody wants to keep taking him back to the college football championship game. Everybody wants to keep taking him back there. I don't think AJ,
especially when he was drafted,
it's all that smoke you all are trying to give him. So if he comes for Jamar Chase on Sunday, nobody should be shocked. And listen, this is going to be one of the most compelling games on Sunday. And if you want to know about this one and 4 other key games, you're probably going to get it on NFL Key Predictions, because we actually have a show here on the Locked On Sports Network that will dig into 5 key matchups, not just on Sunday, but they'll dig into a Monday night game in a heartbeat as well. So if you want to hear more about that, you should check out Locked On NFL. It'll give you these key predictions, kind of break things down. Of course, we break it down here for you when it comes to Atlanta football. Any team the Falcons are playing, we're going to let you know what the keys to the game are. They're going to let you know what the keys are for 5 games across this landscape of the NFL. So anytime you can, when you can, of course, you always want to stop by ATL Day Ones first, but make sure your second stop is Locked On NFL, because they will tell you all that you need to know, all the tips and tools about what's going on in Week 7. Now, speaking of tips and tools about how you should do things, man, we cannot wait to tell you about a tip on a movie that you absolutely have to see.
Final segment of ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. Just want to say thank you for rocking with us throughout the entire show. We really appreciate you for that. We have gotten to the point where we are over 4,600 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
And we just want to say thank you guys for rocking with us. If you are watching or listening to this podcast and you have not liked or subscribed to our channel, what the hell are you waiting on? Go ahead and join the cool kids. Stop sitting in the front of the classroom and move to the back and go and get with the cool folks. Yeah, that's what we doggone push on this show. Tenitra, not so much, but you know me. I know I sat in the back of the class back in the day. But Batiste, this is for the culture. I don't know where I was going with that. But we're just gonna move on. This is for the culture. It is the intersection between sports, entertainment, and the culture. Sometimes whatever the hell we want to talk about, and that's a prime example. Today is no different. Now, Woman King is a movie that when I saw the trailer initially, I was definitely interested in it, right? And then Tenitra, my wife, Tanae.
Right. Always do it the right way. Notice he never mixes my name up with her.
I never mix. Right, nope, not at all.
Do what Jarvis does.
I like being married.
Maintain and sustain your marriage by doing what Jarvis says.
It's called preventative maintenance. No doubt about it. And we've had conversations about whether or not we want to take our girls, to go see it, because to have a lead character be, just a woman and a king being in the same sentence, and having a movie about it, and African American woman in it, it's just absolutely amazing. But we still haven't had a chance to go check it out. Now, from what I hear, little birdie told me that you got a chance to check that bad boy out. What's the results?
It was unbelievable. First of all, Viola Davis is otherworldly. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
I saw her years ago, like up front, like up close and personal. I think it was Fences, if I'm not mistaken, with Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah, that was dope too. Yeah,
had a chance to see that on Broadway, and sitting 7 like rows from the stage. To say that someone can hang with Denzel Washington and, oh God, low key overtake him, that's powerful. Like she was that good. And last night, just absolutely captivating, because the nuances of the storyline and how it shifted and turned, even we were shocked, like, oh, we couldn't believe that happened, because she played it so perfectly before some of those shocking moments in the movie. It was just, the acting was tremendous, the storyline was tremendous, and just like you said, the fierceness of like women's empowerment, but also the support of men within their women's empowerment. So I just really love that entire storyline as well. But yeah, she's such an amazing actress. Like she's a jewel. She really is a jewel. And I really didn't recognize any other actresses or actors in the movie, but everyone was really awesome. And of course, want to give a shout out to director Gina Prince Bythewood. If you guys know her, like from her New York undercover days, that's kind of where she and her husband Reggie kind of started the whole thing. But she was at the helm of this movie, and I felt like she did a fantastic job as well. There were so many women whom you'd recognize from Hollywood that were producers, directors, and writers on this particular movie. Like, you just have to check it out. And the thing about it is, I've not seen a movie, because I'm not a movie person, but I hadn't seen a movie since 2019, Black Panther. And I got a text last night.
Wait, man, you can't just roll. You haven't been to the movie since in 3 years, T. What's going on?
I don't do movies. Like, that was a favor. Because somebody texted me and said, hey, you want to go to a movie? Okay. It's just
whoever to text you must be a very special person, because I know how you get down when it comes to movies. But golly, 3 years is a very long time. T, come on now.
I know.
I know you like popcorn, right?
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, all right. Okay, let's move on.
The movie. Go back to the movie.
Right, back to the movie.
I'm really glad. Yeah, I'm so glad that I went, because it was just a really awesome experience. Like, it's a long movie, but I truly did not realize, like, oh my God, we've been in here for over 2 hours. But it was that good. Like, I don't know if it's kid friendly. Would not take my kids. Okay. It might be a little much for the girls to take, because I had heard a few times. It was a lot for me. And not violence, but just, I mean, it's an action movie, and it's very, very graphic in some of the action scenes. But the cinematography, storyline, now you and today, go check it out. You will be super duper pleased. And then after you go, then you can go to the breakfast spot that I told you about, 2 eggs, and get your French toast and your pancakes on.
Yeah, that definitely is on the list for sure. Now, T, I'm not a big iPhone person. I've always been an Android type guy, and I've always, I've always stayed down with Android. I'm team Android all day long. If you drop in the comments that, hey, Jarvis, get with the times, forget you.
No, he won't.
I'm sticking with Androids. How about that? But I thought it was really cool. There was a story, according to the Daily Loud, they said that the original iPhone from 2017 went for $40,000 at an auction. Like, first of all, does the thing still work? And second of all, what did they add to it for it to make it worth $40,000? T, please help me out on this one.
Yeah,
iPhone expert, please.
It's just a relic. It's just an absolute relic that is going to be one of those things in 20 years where I'm sure, I don't even know what you would call them at that point, like not millennial, but something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
millennial.
Right, exactly. What is that? Where did they use that? How is that used? Is that something you talk through?
Look, they have attachments to our hands by the time people be talking about that iPhone like that. It's like it detaches from your body. Like phones detach from your body. Wait a minute.
Like you had to hold it in your hand. Oh wow, that must have been really tough for you. That's what I think. I think it's just a straight up relic, and they just wanted to say, you know what, this is something that you almost want to just have on display in your home, like in a little one of those boxes, shadow box.
or it appreciates in
Smithsonian
value.
somewhere.
Like, look, or it appreciates in value, and you be able to flip that bad boy.
Yeah.
No pun intended there. It can go and make it sell it for $100,000. And it'd be a good investment. I like to try to be a guy that try to make sound investments and make sound decisions when it comes to spending money and stuff like that. I just don't think paying $40,000 for an iPhone is that counts for that. But like I said, if they're able to 20 years from now, they're able to sell that bad boy for 80, hey, it was probably worth it. Now, you guys, we want y'all to come back on a Monday. We will be talking about what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks and how they did, T. But tell them what else we got going on special for them on a good old Monday.
Yeah, I'm excited about Monday because we hope to come back and talk to you guys about 2 dubs, not 1, but 2. We hope the Falcons get a dub over the Bengals, because if they do, Jarvis, this could give them an opportunity to either stay in a tie for the top of the NFC South or potentially take sole possession of first place. That is a great conversation.
King of the South.
King of the South. Exactly.
King of the South.
And then them boys next door to him at State Farm Arena have a game closing out a 3-game homestand to start the season. Of course, they've got the Magic tonight. They've got Hornets on Sunday before they go on a 5-game road trip. So definitely we hope we're talking about a dub for that as well. And of course, as we're seeing Major League Baseball roll out some of these lists of their finalists for various awards, we hope that we come back with some good for you on Monday for that as well. But listen, we always give you guys tips and tools on what to do in HBCU land. So I better see somebody out there for Spell House this weekend. And if I see you in them streets, you better say what's up to your girl.
Man, say something. Shoot. Stop being scared.
Yeah, just say, hey, girl, hey. Or, if you're a dude, just what's up, girl. That's fine, too. Anyway, you guys, we appreciate you for getting us over 4,600 subscribers on YouTube, for checking us out on Amazon and Fire, and of course, for downloading us wherever you get your podcasts. But not just us, you do it for Hitting Hard with John Chuckery, as well as A to Z with Mark Zeno, and everybody across this Locked On Sports Atlanta network. Appreciate you guys. And you know what? I want to say this. Shout out to my guy, Jarvis Davis. Check him out along with our guy, Aaron Freeman, Locked On Falcons. They do a post-game show, and it is fire. They break it down real time for you guys. So check that out on a Sunday as well. Have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe in the streets, because I know I will, but I'm going to be in them streets. Bye.
Y'all come back now, you hear?